Good day, distinguished educators, leaders, and global partners. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's A Walk Through Education Intellectual Exchange, a platform committed to expanding knowledge, nurturing collaboration, and strengthening the culture of lifelong learning. Our theme, project-based learning, shaping problem solvers for the future, speaks directly to the heart of transformative education. In a world that is constantly evolving, our learners need more than memorized facts. They need experience that build creativity, resilience, and real-world problem-solving skills. Project-based learning offers exactly this opportunity. I'm grateful to everyone joining us from across continents today. Your presence affirms the shared belief that when educators unite, innovation emerges and students benefit. I encourage us all to listen deeply, share generously, and keep the learner at the center of every insight we explore today. So with that, I gladly declare this session open. Thank you all for joining us and welcome once again. So to start the session for today, I'm going to be welcoming our first panelist for the day, Ambassador Kamal Chandra Lohani. Mr. Kamal, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, and your question is, in what ways can project-based learning bridge the gap between traditional education and the skills needed for the future workforce? The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for the questions. And good evening and namaste and namaskar. Salam alaikum, sat sri akal to everybody. And namaskar from my side. Well, this is Kamal Chandra Lohani from Nainital, Uttarakhand, India. Respected Gloria, ma'am, and Yala, ma'am, Nallam, sir, and Osama, sir, and all the great speakers and panelists of the Walk Through Education. Thank you very much for giving me your attention. And thank you very much for listening to me. So, as per the questions asked by Gloria ma'am, my answer is I think today the world we are entering, our teachers are entering, our students are entering, is changing faster, faster and faster, faster our classroom, faster than our classrooms. And traditional education teaches us so many things, so many important things. It gives us knowledge, discipline, value, and there are so many things. But sometimes we feel that it often stops at memorization. And the future workforce means our children, however, demands a much more creativity, problem solving, teamwork, adaptability, ability to learn continuously. So, and this is where project-based learning makes a powerful difference. When students work on real and meaningful projects, they learn to think critically rather than simply recall facts. And they collaborate, communicate, and solve problems the way professionals do in real workplaces. And they use technology not as an extra tool, but as a natural part of creating solutions. And they develop confidence, they develop resilience, and the mindset to tackle challenges beyond the classroom. Project based learning turns students innovators, they become innovators, creators, they become creators, and so in doing so, it bridges the gap between what traditional education teaches and what the future truly requires. So I would like to say, if we want our students to thrive in tomorrow's world, we must prepare them with the skills the world demands, and project-based learning is one of the most effective ways to do exactly that. Exactly that. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for that thoughtful and forward-looking perspective. You have clearly highlighted how project-based learning helps bridge the gap between what students learn in school and the skills they need in
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
digital
Thank
workforce.
thank
Thank
you,
you
ma'am.
very much for that. We appreciate your presentation and your answer,
Thank you,
sorry.
ma'am.
We appreciate your answer. And I'm going to be welcoming our next panelist for today, Ambassador Yala Padmaja, and he's going to be responding to the Ambassador Yala. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I need to spotlight you. Sorry about that. Okay.
Okay,
So
continue.
your question is, how can cross-cultural projects within the PBL model foster global citizenship and mutual understanding among young learners? The floor is yours, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. My heartfelt gratitude to Gloria ma'am, the CEO and founder of A Walk Through Education, and Rania ma'am, Kamal sir, and Surya Banu ma'am, and all the outstanding speakers of this platform. My topic is how can across cultural projects within the BPL model foster global citizenship and mutual understanding among young learners. Topic. These projects bring students from different cultures together. They help children learn, respect, teamwork, and global. BPL means learning by doing projects, share experiences. This makes learning more and meaningful. It also helps them understand other cultures better. Cross cultural projects teach students to communicate clearly. They learn to listen to others with patience and respect. They realize that every culture has its own beauty. This builds mutual understanding among young people. Uh, Through these projects, students face real world global problems. They might discuss topics like the environment, peace, and health. Working together teaches them cooperation and empathy. They see how teamwork can solve big issues. Global citizenship means caring about the world and the people in it. BPL helps students feel responsible beyond their own country. They start thinking about global unity and sharing progress. This makes them active and caring old citizens. Technology videos and present their projects together. This builds confidence and digital skills too. They learn that distance cannot stop collaboration. Teachers play a big role in guiding these projects. They encourage open mindedness. Audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible. Don't worry,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
going to mute the person. Sorry.
Open mindedness and curiosity. They help students appreciate differences instead of judging them. This creates a respectful and inclusive learning space. Cross cultural BPL builds empathy in young hearts. Students understand others' struggles and dreams. They learn kindness and compassion through teamwork. These values prepare them for a peaceful world. When students share traditions, food, and stories, they build emotional connections. They start celebrating diversity instead of fearing it. This brings stereotypes and promotes friendship. Such learning creates harmony in classrooms and beyond. In conclusion, cross culture projects within the BPL model are powerful. They make learning creative, meaningful, and global. They nurture understanding, empathy, and unity among Young learners, let's promote BPL to build a better, more connected world. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this great opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Yala Padmaja. Thank you for sharing such a rich and inspiring viewpoint on that question. You have emphasized how cross-cultural projects help young learners appreciate diversity, understand global perspectives, and develop empathy. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation and your answers. And
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Okay, so I'm going to be moving on to our next panelist for today, Ambassador Halima Sani Seada. Ambassador Halima, the floor is yours. Are you there? Okay, in her absence, I'm going to move over to our next panelist for today, Professor Dr. Suraya Bano. Professor Suraya
Yes,
Bano, your question is, what are the key challenges educators face in accessing project-based learning outcomes, and how can this be overcome? The floor is yours, ma'am.
yes. Very good evening. This is Professor Dr. Surya from India. Today I am sharing my views on the same question. As Dr. Benjamin Franklin said, tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Educators face several key challenges in assessing project based learning PBL outcomes, primarily stemming from its open ended and student centered nature. These can be of diverse assessment tools. In the words of Mortimer Adler, the purpose of learning is growth, and our minds, unlike our bodies, can continue growing as we continue to live. Challenges subjectivity in evaluation. Assessing open ended projects can be subjective as the outcome may vary greatly among students, making it difficult to maintain consistent and fair standards. Assessing the process, not just the product. The learning as sustained inquiry, collaboration, critical thinking, revision is an important as the final product in PBL, but traditional methods often focus slowly on the end result. Time constant, designing and implementing robust assessment methods for multifaceted projects within tight curriculum schedules require significant time and planning from educators. Difficulty in assessing 21st century skills, elevating soft skills like collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and communication can be challenging due to a lack of precise definition and standardized metrics. It's ensuring individual accountability in group work. In group project, it can be difficult to determine each student's individual contribution and understanding, as some students may dominate the work while others participate less. Lack of educator training and confidence. Many educators are assessment principles and lack the necessary training to design effective evaluation tools, leading to a reliance on traditional methods. Inconsistent assessment standards, institutions often struggle to develop reliable systems for assessing learning outcomes consistently across different projects and even different teachers. As Charles Gilmore Etienne said, if we want something done right, do it yourself. The strategies to overcome challenges are develop clear rubrics, Create detailed, specific assessment rubrics at the project's inceptions that the outline clear learning goals and expectations for both the final product and the process. Example criteria for teamwork, research skill, and reflection. Implement continuous and varied assessment. Use a combination of formative, summative, and diagnostic assessment throughout the project, not just at the end. This can schedule virtual or in-person check-ins to monitor progress and provide timely feedback. Peer and self-assessment. Integrate peer evaluation and student self-assessment opportunities with guiding questions to foster reflection and provide additional data points on individual contribution and growth. Portfolio or learning journals. Have students maintain portfolios or journal that document their journey, including research notes, drafts, reflection on obstacles, and revision. Provide education support. Offer comprehensive professional development programs, workshops, and peer learning communities to equip teachers with the skills and confidence needed for effective PBL assessment. Integrate technology, levers, digital platforms, and analytics tools to monitor student progress and provide personalized and real-time feedback and manage assessment data more efficiently. Structure group work effectively. Stabilize clear ground rules for collaboration and use specific strategies. Example, assigning different roles, individual progress reports to ensure all group members participate equally and are held accountable. Align projects with curriculum standards. Ensure projects are tightly aligned with specific academic standards and learning objectives, making it easier to justify and measure the knowledge and skills acquired. Foster a culture of iteration and resilience. Emphasize that setbacks and revisions are a normal and valuable part of the learning process, shifting the focus for immediate perfection to growth and skill development. As Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. Now I conclude in two lines. Key challenges in assessing project-based learning include time constraint, standardized testing conflicts, and the difficulty of assessing complex skills like collaboration and critical thinking. These challenges require clear rubrics and authentic assessment strategies, time management and project integration, professional development, and leveraging technology and school-wide support to create a culture that values process over final product. As Albert Einstein said, education is not the learning, but the training of thing.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Suraya Bano, for addressing such important aspect of PBL. You have clearly illuminated the challenges educators face in assessing project-based learning, particularly in evaluating collaboration, creativity, and individual contribution. Thank you very much, Ma. We appreciate you. And I'm going to be calling on our next panelist for today. Okay, this one here. Mr. Vivian, are you ready? Yes, I thought the next person was supposed to be Dr. Mohammed Osama, but he's not here anymore. So Mr. Vivian, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome to today's session. Your question is, how can
Good afternoon.
educators make project-based learning inclusive, ensuring that students of all learning abilities and backgrounds actively participate and succeed? The floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone.
Mm.
Thank you for the opportunity given to me once again. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to go straight to the point. I have about 5 points here. The first thing I want to say, for any education to have project-based learning that includes inclusive, ensuring that all students in your classroom, including the ones that have learning is learning ability, the first thing you need to do as a teacher is to know your students. Knowing your student is started by doing assessment, what I call learning assessment. The first thing you need to do when you get to the classroom in a new session, you need to test your student to know where each of them belong. Because with assessment, you will know how to group your students. So that is the first thing you need to do. Know your student ability by testing them using learning assessment. The second one I also have here, I call it flexible grouping. Flexible grouping is when you want to do a project in the classroom, because flexible grouping will help you to bring all your students together while working together. How do I achieve this? When I have a project to do, what I do, I group them into 4 sessions. I split all the material into different groups because I know there is one that can do the knitting very well. There is one that will do the cutting. There is one that will help us to do the arrangement. So they move from one group to another. The first group, once I see that, okay, you are very good in the arrangement of the material, I move you to the next group. In the next group, when I see that, okay, you can tie this thing very well, I move you to the third group. The third group, I'll move you to the fourth group. So I keep moving them like that because when I do that, it helps me to include all of them into the classroom activity without leaving anyone behind, because that is the most important thing in project-based learning, enabling the teacher to include all the students into the classroom. Another one I also have here, I say universal design for learning, which means multiple means of engaging. You have to engage your student. You have to learn as they are working, you keep moving around because it's not just one task you are giving them. We are talking about project based. So you give them different tasks to do. On the tasks they are doing, you keep multitasking them continuously until they are better. Because sometimes we have some students in the classroom who may have maybe, let me use the word disability issue. Probably they can't move around. There are some that cannot probably have a disability in the eyes, maybe can't hear properly. So for them to be inclusive in your classroom, you have to multitask by giving them different works to do. Like I said earlier, that the first thing you need to do, you need to do the assessment because the assessment will help you to know each of your students' ability. And also have here I said provide support. It is demanding because when doing project-based learning in the classroom, you have to move from one group to another to ensure that your children are actually carrying out tasks. You cannot do a project-based learning in the classroom where you have to have an inclusive classroom and you're just sitting there as a teacher. You need to support, you need to check. If a child is not getting right, as a teacher, you have to guide such a child to be able to do it well. Like, okay, you show example, do it this way, do it that way. When doing that, you're actually supporting the child not to be discouraged and also build the ability of that child to carry out that task very well. Another thing I also have here, I say differentiating instruction. Very important because like I said earlier, you have different students with different learning ability. Like what I do, once I come to the classroom in new session, I'll first of all do the assessment. The assessment will help me to know that, okay, this child can use practical assessment, probably give everybody drawing to do. Once they are done with the drawing, I wonder, okay, this person has issue with line. What aspect of lines that this person cannot do? I will put such a person in a group that I know, okay, this group A, they have this learning ability of probably how to construct lines. Then I will check the other one. I'll give them a game, maybe painting. Group B, okay, they are very good in painting, but still have issue with ability to apply shading and light. I'll put them in that group. So as time goes on, it helped me to focus on each of them and how to build them all at the end of the day to enable me to achieve a project-based and inclusive learning based in the classroom. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Vivian, for shedding light on the importance of inclusivity in project-based learning. Your insight reminds us that every learner, regardless of ability, background, or lifestyle, learning style, deserves the opportunity to engage meaningfully in hands-on projects. Thank you very much for that. And also, I love that the examples you gave when educators differentiate tasks, just like you did, create flexible roles and cultivate a supportive classroom culture, project-based learning becomes a powerful equalizer. Thank you very much and keep up the good work. I love the example you gave. And moving on, I'm going to welcome our next panelist for today, Ambassador Gayatri Mishra. Mr. Gayatri, are you ready?
Hello, yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're welcome to today's session, Ambassador Gayatri. Your question for today is, what strategies can teachers use to ensure that collaboration in project-based learning doesn't silence quieter voices, but promote equal participation? The floor is yours.
Namaste. Good evening, ma'am, and all
Good
of you.
evening.
Good evening. Today, we celebrated India Children's Day.
Wow, congratulations. Ambassador Kamal told me about that. Congratulations to all the children in India.
Thank you so much, ma'am. My answer are strategies to promote equal participation in PBL. PBL means project-based learning. Number one, structured group roles. Assigns clear roles to every student, such as faculty, recorder, researcher, presenter, and timekeeper. Rotate roles so that equator students also get leadership opportunities. And number two, use think, pair, share before group discussion. Give students time to, number one, think individually, discuss with a partner, share with the full group. This ensures that interrupt or slow to process students also get space to contribute. And number three, establish group norms. Create norms collaborative such as one person speak at a time. Everyone's idea matter. No putting in when chief are over, they must listen. This balance dominant and equipped voice. Number five, teacher as faculty, not judge. Calculate around group and ask open-ended question. Every student redirection conversation. If one student dominates, invite equator students gently. Asha, what do you think about this idea? Because her student is a unique. Every child is unique. Number six, small group size. Use group of three and four students. Smaller group naturally encourage participation from all members. Number seven, provide sentence structures. Offer phrases like I would like to add. I have different point. Can we also consider this support? Say students in Interning the conversation. Use number 8. Use collaborator and digital tools. Platforms like Google, Google Docs, Padlet, and Jamboard allow all students to contribute at the same time, giving equitter students a safe space to express ideas. And number 9, regular reflection and peer feedback. Ask group to reflect on who participate most, who participate less, how can we improve balance. Peer feedback encourage accountability. And number 10, collaborate devices stewardship. Recognize
Hello, Ambassador Gayatri. Okay.
then just speaking and summary. To encourage equal participation in PBL, teachers should provide structure, create safe space, monitor group dynamics, and value every student as collaboration using roles, norms, reflection, and digital tools can ensure that no voice is silenced and that collaboration becomes truly inclusive. Thank you so much, ma'am. This is my opinions today.
Wow, just on
Thank you
time,
so much, ma'am.
as if you were watching the time. Thank you very much, Ambassador Gayatri Mishra, for pointing out the need for inclusivity. Ensuring quieter voices are heard foster
So much, ma'am.
teamwork and equity, which are essential skills for future problem solvers. Thank you very much for that brilliant answer. We appreciate you. And moving on, I'm going to be welcoming our
Thank you
next.
so much, and all of you. Thank you so much, Sally sir, and all of you.
You're welcome. All right, so I'm going to be welcoming our next panelist for today, Ambassador Inem Etu. Ambassador Inem, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
Thank you very much for. Okay, go ahead, man.
You're welcome. All right, your question is,
Thank you.
how can teachers balance curriculum demands with the flexibility needed to carry out meaningful project-based learning? The floor is yours, sir.
Well, I think this question is very, very important, and it goes to the heart of the practical teaching. And this will show us how to impress learning without also neglecting our curriculum coverage, or we can say examination expectations. So I will give some key strategies or suggestions in which we could do that. So first of all, we must understand that balancing curriculum would demand project-based learning, or call it balancing curriculum demands with the project-based learning would require intentional integration rather than addition. It means that we must intentionally integrate the two of them or the both of them rather than making the project-based learning an addition to the curriculum. So it will also help us that teachers, it will mean that teachers should align the projects directly with curriculum objectives instead of seeing them as extra work. Our curriculum, our projects should not be an extra work, but would rather be added with the curriculum objectives. So every project should be designed to meet one or more learning objectives or learning outcomes already in the scheme of work. So I will give the following strategies. Number one, first of all, we should map our curriculum. We can start by identifying core topics or skills within the syllabus that lend themselves naturally to inquiry or real world problem solving. That is, we have to convert those topics into projects. We have to look at the core topics or skills that can be converted into projects that can also be integrated into our curriculum. Number two, we must also, number two strategies is that we must also scaffold projects. We must break big problems or big projects into smaller ones. There must be curriculum linked tasks. So whatever we will be doing should be linked back to our curriculum. Our projects should not be isolated from the curriculum itself. And this will help to maintain pacing and ensures that assessment is continuous. The next would be integrate assessment. We must integrate assessment. We must use rubrics that assesses both content mastery and project skills. And one of which would be collaboration, communication, and creativity. This will help to ensure accountability to the curriculum. The next I would mention would be collaborative planning. So teachers across subjects can co-design interdisciplinary projects, and this will help to spread the workload and maximize relevance. So for want of time, the next I will also mention would be use flexible scheduling. Projects don't always have to replace lessons. That should be very, very key. They can run alongside. So for instance, one project day per week or a project week per term, that can help us so that we can also run lessons and projects collaboratively. The next would be to leverage on local contexts. Projects rooted in students' community problems make learning authentic and manageable without needing extra resources. So we should look at the context, the local context. Let's leverage on that also. Also, administrative support. School leaders should give teachers and reflect. Without institutional backing, balancing both becomes harder. So if we don't have the institutional backing, it will be hard for the teacher in the classroom to fuse the project into the curriculum. So in summary, teachers can balance curriculum demands and the PBL by aligning projects to curriculum objectives, integrating assessments, and fostering supportive school structures that encourage flexibility and collaboration. So I can say that the project-based learning is a teaching approach in which students gain knowledge and skills by working over an extended period of time to investigate and respond to real-world questions, problems, and challenges. So instead of simply listening to lessons or memorizing facts, students should learn by doing the following: they research, they plan, they design, they create, and present a project that demonstrates their understanding. Thank you very much. Let me not take much of your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Inemisik Etuk, for emphasizing the importance of flexibility. Striking a balance between curriculum requirements and meaningful project is indeed key to ensuring that students remain engaged and that learning is authentic. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your answers. And I'm going to be welcoming our next panelist for today, Ambassador Lagmani Kumari. Ambassador Lagmani, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so your question is, in what
Yes, ma'am.
ways? Okay, thank you very much and welcome to today's session. Your question is,
Yes, ma'am.
in what
I'm
ways?
available.
Okay, can you hear me?
Ayush,
Can you hear me?
hello.
अरे बोलो
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me, please?
अरे बोलिए आवाज आती है
Hello.
Please, can anybody hear me? Because it seems she can't
मैम का
hear me.
आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रहा है?
It seems Ambassador Gayatri cannot hear me. Ambassador Lagmani. Please, Ambassador
Hello.
Shemish, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear? What's
Hello.
happening? Hear me?
अरे बोलो, आवाज आती है, बोलो।
क्यों नहीं आवाज आ रहा है? आई हैप्पी, आवाज नहीं आ रहा है।
किसी और को मौका दिया जाए।
Please, can't you hear?
Lagmani Kumar madam, your voice is audible. Please continue. Lagmani ma'am, your voice is audible. Please continue.
Ambassador Nalam, can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Your voice is audible.
So I don't know what's happening.
Hello.
अरे
Yes,
बोलो
madam, your
यार,
voice is audible. Continue.
बोलो।
Continue. Your question is, if you want me to repeat your question, in what ways can project-based learning help rural students connect education to their daily realities and community development? That's your question, Ambassador Lagmani. So go ahead. All right, it's like she can't hear me. So I'm going to move over to Dr. Benita. Dr. Benita, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're welcome to today's session. And your question is, give me a minute, your question is, how can project-based learning encourage environmental equity and sustainability among students? The floor is yours, Dr. Benita.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening, one and all. Myself, Dr. Benita Prakash. And happy Children's Day to all of you, because everyone have a children.
Yes, and we're all children as well.
Yeah. In today's world, where climate change, pollution, and resource depletion make daily headlines, our role as educators extends far beyond teaching facts and formulas. We are shaping the next generation of planet guardians. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is through project based learning. Project based learning is an approach that transforms classrooms into living laboratories of change. When students take part in projects that address real environmental issues, learning becomes alive. Imagine children investigating how much waste their school generates each week, or designing water filters for nearby villages, or planting native trees to restore biodiversity. Suddenly, environmental responsibility isn't a chapter in a book, it is an experience they live and lead. Through such projects, students develop critical and system thinking. They begin to see that sustainability isn't just about saving trees, it's about understanding how every choice connects, how the food we eat, the clothes we wear, and the energy we consume are all part of one interdependent system. Project based learning helps them ask the right questions. Where did this come from? What impact does it have? What can I do differently? And then comes collaboration, the heartbeat of project based learning. Environmental issues are never solved in isolation, and neither are great projects. As students work in teams to research, design, and implement solutions, they learn to listen, to negotiate, and to value diverse ideas. They discover that sustainability thrives on cooperation and shared responsibility. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of project based learning is its ability to inspire creative action. When students invent a way to recycle paper waste into art or create awareness campaigns about reducing plastic use, they learn that innovation is not limited to laboratories. It can start in any classroom. They become doers, not just dreamers. They become doers, not just dreamers. Reflection depends this learning when students pause to ask, what did this project teach me about the world and about myself? That's when values take root. They begin to see sustainability not as an assignment but as a way of life. And when we link these local efforts to global challenges, connecting a school garden to the larger goals of climate resilience or food security, we nurture citizens who not only act locally but also think globally. My dear fellow educators, project based learning isn't just a pedagogy, it's a philosophy. It invites our students to explore, empathize, and engage. It transforms environmental education from awareness into action. So, let us encourage our learners to plant ideas that grow into solutions and to cultivate a sense of stewardship that extends beyond the classroom walls. Because when students learn through projects, they don't just study sustainability, they live it. And the very important point is that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Let us teach them to return it greener, cleaner, and wiser than they found it. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am,
Thank,
for giving me such a nice topic.
thank you very much for that brilliant answer. Thank you for highlighting how project-based learning empowers students to take ownership of environmental challenges. I especially appreciate the practical examples you shared. Connecting learning to real-world sustainability projects truly instills responsibility from a young age. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presentation.
Thank you so
And
much, ma'am.
you're welcome. And let me go back to Ambassador Lagmani Kumari. Your question is, in what ways can project-based learning help rural students connect education to their daily reality and community development? The floor is yours, Ambassador Lagmani.
Thank you, everyone. Respected Gulaya ma'am, Rania ma'am, Salesh sir, Gayatri ma'am, Kamal Lohani sir, Nice sir, and everyone. Good evening, everyone. Today, I want to highlight how project-based learning can truly transform education for your rival student. When children work one role play project by improving water conservation, studying local crops of document village traditional. They begin to see that education is not. They begin to see that education is not separate from life. I become useful, practical, and meaningful. Project-based learning help students connect classroom concept with their daily related. Math becomes playing project science. Science becomes solving feminine challenges, and a language skill become communicating ideas. The community, the approach also building confidence, teamwork, and problem solving. It is important it encourage community development when students create solution for local issues. They not create solution local issues. They not only team learn better, they also contributed to the growth of their village. By adapting project-based learning, be empowering of rural learners to see themselves as activity change makers, not just students. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Lagmani Kumari. Your insights into connecting education to local realities are invaluable. Using PBL to address community needs helps students see the relevance of their learning while contributing positively to society. Thank you very much. I appreciate your answers.
Thank you so much.
That was such a brilliant one. Thank you. And moving on to our next panelist for today, Ambassador Nahid Raza. Are you ready? Ambassador Nahid? All right, so I'm going to move over to Dr. Sarika Kumari. Dr. Sarika,
I am ready. I am ready.
Okay.
Respected ma'am, Gloria ma'am, I'm ready.
All right, you're welcome to today's session. And your question is, how can international collaboration among schools strengthen project-based learning approaches and equip students with global problem-solving skills? The floor is yours, sir.
I am Nahid Raza, I am a school principal, and I am very happy to have such outstanding and relevant question today. See, if collaboration exists, that is how we can diagnose, we can understand. And first of all, we need to understand ourselves. How can we understand when our friends are telling about us, when other children are telling our children? That is how we can improve, right? And when we 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 improve, yes, we develop problem solving skills. I therefore strongly advocate that we need to have collaborations 50% more. Since development of civilization, I repeatedly tell my respected listeners that please go for collaboration. So far as projects are concerned, project based learning is the backbone of today's learning landscape. Why? Because most of the children are glued to social media. If you want to bring them back, we'll have to introduce project based learning. Project based learning, because when we start doing something, we start sorting out problem, figuring out things, and we have constructivism. And when we go for it, sky is not the limit. I therefore have opinion that we must go for collaboration. And yes, if we have matured enough to do something and new values are coming, new values are added in our projects, so those projects is ameliorated, develop further. And yes, we do make it different when difference is there, when value addition is there, when new perception is there. Then again we come across outstanding value, we come across usability, we come across new perception, we come across creativity, we come across innovation. And yes, when innovation is there, new thinking is there, new enthusiasm is there, new energy is there. So we keep on developing. And children are very much fed up with the traditional pedagogy. We need to improve lot much. And children are changing, learning landscape is changing. If we fail to change, and change could only be brought about when we go for collaboration. This is all small, but I think useful. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Nahid Raza, for that amazing answer. Yes, you have beautifully highlighted the importance of international collaboration in strengthening project-based learning. By connecting schools across borders, students gain access to diverse perspectives, cultural understanding, and shared problem-solving experiences. Thank you very much for that amazing response. And I'm going to be moving on to the next panelist for today, Dr. Sarika Kumari. Dr. Sarika, are you ready? All right. Dr.
Ma'am, may I?
Dr. Mohammed Osama, are you ready? We are
Yeah,
taking.
ma'am.
Okay. Dr. Mohammed Osama, your question is, how can educators use data and reflection from project-based learning to continuously improve teaching practices? The floor is yours.
A very good morning to all. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This is a poem by Robert Frost, the great poet, and our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was born on this day, 14 November in 1889, we have been celebrating the Children's Day on his birthday, commemorate. So salute to such person on this day. As per my question, I'm giving some examples that the students are given the projects as we want to know about their potency, and they must have to learn by learning by doing. So educators can continuously improve their teaching by using data and reflection from PBL, project-based learning, to analyze what worked and what didn't, identify areas for growth, and make targeted changes for future projects. This involves collecting both qualitative and quantitative data on student engagement and performance, analyzing it through reflective practices like journaling or collaborative discussions, and using these insights to adapt instructional strategies, evolve the curriculum, and better meet student needs. Data collection and analysis, track student progress, use formative assessments, check ins and self-reflection to monitor student understanding and engagement throughout the project. Gather both quantitative and qualitative data. We have to collect data on objective measures like grades and project completion, but also on more qualitative aspects like student discussions, creativity, and the empathy and community understanding developed during the project. We have to use documentation also. We take pictures and videos of students' learning process and final products to serve as a visual record for later analysis. We can analyze project components like breakdown data by looking at specific parts of the project, such as the driving question, the rubric, or the available resources to understand how each piece impacted student learning. Reflective practices such as engage in regular reflection, use structured reflection tools, collaborative with colleagues, analyze feedback, application for continuous improvement like adapt teaching strategies. We use insights to modify instructional approaches like providing more or less direction to better support student needs and learning styles in future projects. We have to evolve the curriculum, adjust project goals, criteria, and rubrics based on what was effective and what was not. We can even involve students in developing future project criteria. Forecast student success. We use the data to better anticipate which students might need support and to design intervention to help them succeed in future projects. We can build a systematic approach by systematically reflecting and adapting. We can build a framework for improving teaching practice over time, ensuring that each year's PBL experience is more effective than the last. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Osama. Your focus on reflective practices and data-driven improvement is crucial. By continuous analyzing project outcomes, teachers can fine-tune approaches, ensuring students gain deeper learning experiences. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation and your responses. And I'm going to be moving on to our next panelist.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, Gloria, ma'am.
Yes.
Good
please.
evening, ma'am. Dr. Sarika. My mobile is hanging, so I'm not. Am I
Okay.
continue?
Yes, because I called you before. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah. Continue from. Yes. Continue. Continue.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Good evening, and good evening to all of you. Uh, PBL learning shaping from problem solving for the futures. My topic is how can teachers integrate social emotional learning into project based experience to develop compassionate problem solvers. In today's rapidly changing world, academic excellence alone is not enough. Students must learn how to collaborate, how to handle emotion, how to solve quality problems and humanity. Project-based learning and social emotional learning, PBL and CEL come together. PBL gives real-world challenges and CEL teaches students to understand to themselves and other while solving those challenges. Number one, as teachers, we can design projects that connect with students' real lives and emotion. For example, clean water for the community, anti-bullying awareness, sustainability and waste engagement, elderly care and mental well-being. When students feel the problem, they show more compassion in finding solution. PBL becomes not just a learning activity but a journey of empathy. Second, cell is not a separate chapter, it is part of a process. Number A, team norms. I encourage my student to create team norms such as we listen, we support, we respect and we support. This builds emotional safety from the beginning. These strength-based rules I give goals based on student self strengths. A calm child as the conflict manager, a good listener as a mediator, a sensitive and caring child as the community lead. This develops self-awareness and social awareness. C. Emotional check-ins. I begin group work with a simple question. How are you feeling today? This 1 minute check in builds trust and empathy, prepare the team early. And my classroom examples, I given some anti-bullying campaign. In one project, a student worked on anti-bullying awareness. Before creating poster or skits, I asked them to talk a younger student about their experience. They listened to real fears and emotional pain. This experience transformed their thinking. Their solution were not just creative, they were kind and caring. They created a safe circle and a daily positive message cards for junior. And my second is in a water saving project, garden, class garden before. One of my most meaningful cell based project was the class garden project. Before every session, I started with the 1 minute emotional check-in. Students said how they felt and peers supported them with small gestures. As the planted ceased, watered the plants and took turn caring for the garden. They naturally learned patience, responsibility, teamwork, and kindness. They understood that just like a plant grow with care, relationship also grow with the empathy and time. This project taught science, but more importantly, it taught compassion. At the end of each project, I asked exa, what did they learn about yourself? How did you support your team? What feeling came up during the project? Such reflections help a student become thoughtful, emotionally mature problem solver who can face real world challenges, confidence, and humanity. When teachers wave cell into a project-based learning, students don't just become problem solvers, they become compassionate, responsible, and human-centered thinkers. They learn to understand people before solving problems. This is how we prepare the next generation, the empathic inventors who will shape a better and kinder world. Thank you. Thank you, Gloria ma'am, and thank you everyone to listen me. This is my today's views. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sarika, for highlighting the integration of social emotional learning. Developing empathy and compassion through projects is key to shaping not only skilled but also emotionally intelligent problem solvers. Thank you very much for that amazing response. And I'm going to be moving on to our next panelist for today, Ambassador Nilam Saxana. Ambassador Nilam, are you there?
Yes, of course, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, so your question is, how can educators use storytelling and creative arts within PBL to enhance communication and empathy in learners? The floor is yours.
Good evening, one and all present here, and namaste from India. Wish you all a very happy Children's Day. Today we have enjoyed so much in our school. There was a children's fair, and each and every student, they have enjoyed in school, and they were very much happy. After watching the children, I am also feeling very much happy, and yet now I'm feeling I'm having the very good feelings of today's vibration. Thank you very much, ma'am. And nice
Congratulations.
question is here. It is also related to the children. Everything which we discuss, it is for the goodness of our children, for their development. And storytelling, it is a very favorite thing of everyone. If when I was telling you about myself, that point I was telling that there was a children fair in my school. Everybody was listening it separately because everybody was talking about the particular topic. But I have taken the different thing, so everybody has started to listen it more carefully. The same way it happens with children. When we start to tell something special in the form of the story, so the children's concentration we get very immediately. So storytelling and visual storytelling as well as creative arts. These are the both important as well as interesting topic for the children. By which we can enhance their communication as well as we can collect their empathy, because uh, for this thing the how educators can do it, I will talk about it, to create the interest as well as to enhance the communication and to enhance their empathy. The educators, first of all, they have to start to tell the story first about themselves inside the classroom, because whenever the teacher start to tell the story about his previous life, about his student life, the student, they take much interest to listen their story. So first of all we have to start from our side. Okay, and we are the all are the educators, immediately we can create the story within minute. We can create the story about any one topic because we are having the ability. So first of all we should start from our side. Secondly, we can give them in project-based learning, we can give them project to prepare the story. Suppose we have to tell them moral story. So we can tell them what you have done in morning hours. This you have to tell in a form of the story. Okay, so student, what they did in morning hours, they get up early in the morning, afterwards what they have done, and their parents what have said, and what special thing happened with them in the form of story, small story they can tell. By this their communication will be strong, and they can discuss about the particular character of any story. So emotionally they can be attached that particular character, as well as we can encourage to tell the story. If we motivate any one child, if we tell ourselves, then our children can motivate it and they can tell, because every student's writing, it is not compulsory their writing is good some are good in music, some are good in visual art, some are good in discussion. So differently we can give them chance, and if one by one they are coming and they are getting good scores, so I think they will be motivated. As well as the visual arts also we can give in project-based learning. Suppose any story is there about their life, about particular topic in any subject. If we tell them you have to draw this story on the paper, okay, whatever they want to make, we can give them freedom. So visual art can be utilized, as well as role play and drama. The students nowadays, they are very good in mimicry also. They take interest in these things. So we can organize the visual role play as well as drama, and music and movement also we can give them, as well as combine because there was many stories are there by which they can learn, and very much subject, every subject, and in that subject particular topic can be transformed in the story, and with the help of story I think we can make our teaching very much easier and interesting. This is my point. Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you to everyone listen me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Nilam. Your perspective on integrating storytelling and art is inspiring. By encouraging learners to communicate their projects creatively, we not only build empathy, but also make complex ideas accessible and memorable. Thank you very much. We appreciate your contribution. And I'm going to be welcoming Dr. Rania. Dr. Rania, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so
Have-
Dr. Rania is going to be answering the question. As a global STEM educator expert, how can project-based learning be leveraged to foster creativity and critical thinking among students in the digital age? The floor is yours, Dr. Rania.
Thank you very much. So what is the power of project-based learning in STEM? The key characteristics of project-based learning are closely related with STEM because it's about authentic problems. Students work on challenges that mirror real-world STEM issues, and all this foster relevance and engagement. It's about collaboration because projects often require teamwork, promoting peer learning and diverse perspectives. It's an iterative process because students prototype, test, and refine solutions, cultivating resilience and adaptive thinking. And multidisciplinary integration because projects often intersect mathematics, science, technology, engineering, promoting holistic understanding. So, how we can foster creativity through project-based learning in STEM? When we talk about STEM, usually we have in mind analytical reasoning, thinking, scientific processes, etc. But this is wrong because we can also foster creativity through STEM projects, and not only through artistic expressions. Creativity in STEM, it's about generating innovative solutions. When we think in divergent ways, when we connect seemingly disparate concepts. And project-based learning actually can nurture creativity in several ways through open-ended challenges, because if we avoid predetermined solutions, students are free to explore multiple approaches and experiment with novel ideas. Through the use of digital tools with platforms such as coding environments or 3D modeling software, simulation tools, we can expand the realm of what students can create. And we encourage iteration because digital tools facilitate rapid prototyping, allowing students to visualize, to test and revise their ideas continuously. And in a globalized classroom also, students can collaborate with peers worldwide. So this means cross-cultural collaboration, and this means we integrate diverse cultural perspectives into creative problem solving. So through PBL, we actually enhance critical thinking and creativity because we ask from students what? To define problems precisely. Students have to break down complex questions into manageable components. They have to collect and analyze data. using, for example, sensors, digital sensors, or online databases, or coding platforms, enable empirical investigation, evidence-based reasoning. They have to evaluate solutions because students assess the efficacy and feasibility of multiple approaches, considering constraints and trade-offs. Then they reflect in metacognitive ways because structured reflection within projects encourages learners to evaluate their thinking processes and improve decision-making strategies. So we can leverage, of course, digital tools if we want to enhance our PBL projects. We can use simulation, modeling software. We have amazing platforms like Effect or Tinkercad, MATLAB, which allows students to test hypotheses and visualize complex systems. We have collaborative platforms like Google Workspace or Trello, which support team communication, project management, iterative feedback. Universities, there are collaborative programs which actually allow students from different countries to work, for example, for VR, virtual reality, to work on the same, for example, simulation of aviation or on surgery or things like that at the same time for different countries through VR projects. So collaborative platforms through also coding robotic kits like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, Lego Mindstorms, which provide hands-on experiences where students actually can translate ideas into tangible outcomes. And they can use also data analytic tools. We have platforms for data visualization. The most popular is Tableau and Python libraries, which enable students to make informed decisions based on real-world data sets. So if we integrate all these technologies, we can scaffold projects that are engaging, but intellectually rigorous. And of course, this promotes the dual development of creativity and critical thinking. So I would say, finally, concluding that there are global implications also here, because PBL in the digital era extends beyond local classrooms. Virtual collaboration tools can help students to tackle shared STEM challenges, such as climate modeling or sustainable engineering, global health problems. This fosters global citizenship or empathy. And this aligns with the global STEM education agenda. What is the global STEM education agenda? Is to prepare learners not only to succeed academically, but also to thrive in a complex, interconnected environment. So we combine authentic problem solving, collaborative engagement, and digital tools. PBL enables students to become innovators and thinkers capable of addressing the present challenges of our time. So it's a pedagogical choice, but also it's something which is necessary for nurturing the next generation of creators and leaders. Thank you very much, Dr. Gloria, for this wonderful opportunity. And I would like to thank all the audience also.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rania, for that insightful contribution. Your emphasis on using project-based learning to nurture creativity and critical thinking is in the digital age is really powerful. You have reminded us that when students are allowed to explore, think, and question, and collaborate through real-life projects supported by digital tools, they don't just learn content, they develop the mindset needed to thrive in this rapidly evolving world and digital age. Thank you very much, Dr. Rania. We appreciate your answers. And I'm going to be moving on to our next panelist for today, Ambassador Halima Sada. Ambassador Halima, are you there?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. All right, you're welcome to today's session, Ambassador Halima. Your question is, in your view, how can project-based learning be introduced early in childhood education to nurture problem solvers from a young age? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. This day and age in 2025 that we have Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, Gen whatever, they are always hyper and always willing to learn and always excited about anything they can lay their hands on. So project-based learning can begin as early as childhood because young children are naturally curious, naturally collaborative, and naturally imaginative. The goal is not complex projects, but simple, age-appropriate tasks that allow them to ask questions, experiment, and create solutions. So what do we do when we have these hands-on Gen Zs and Gen Alphas in our hands? The first thing we do is we start with everyday problems children understand. In early childhood, PBL should revolve around problems children can see, they can touch, and relate with. For example, our classroom is always messy. What can we do to make it clean? So children can brainstorm, draw mini posters, label shelves with symbols, and create a clean-up system. This teaches organization, teamwork, and responsibility. And we can also do something like, why do our plants keep dying? The class can plant new seedlings, observe them daily, create a watering schedule, and record growth in simple charts. Here, they practice observation, prediction, and early scientific teaching. This can be done in subjects like basic science, integrated science, and so on. Number two, use hands-on mini projects. You can have short, playful project work best for young children, like recycling project. Tell the children, we throw away too many bottles. What can we do with them? They can sort out recyclables, build simple toys from plastic bottles, or create an art garden with painted containers. So this activity builds early environmental awareness and creativity. Then we can integrate project into basic learning areas. You don't need to separate PBL from basic natural lessons we have in class. You can imbibe project into literacy, into numeracy, into play, into spelling, into so many things. Example, community helpers project. Children can go around interview maybe a security guard in their school, their nanny, their nurse, their whatever. So they can draw what they learn. They can do role play with jobs in class, and they can even create small community village by themselves. This builds communication, empathy, and collaboration. And then you can encourage a child-led question. Let children questions drive the project. A simple question like, where does the rain come from? Can become a mini inquiry project, making rain in a jar, drawing clouds, reading storybooks about the weather, and acting out the weather cycle with simple dance movement or acting or singing or whatever you can have. Involve parents and the community. Real life involvement makes learning meaningful. For example, you invite a tailor parent, a parent that is a tailor, that she can let the children create simple cloth collages, or you invite a carpenter that is in the community and let the children design any dream chair, any paste board, any whatever they can do. This shows them that problem solving is a community activity. Then what we really have to focus on is the process, not the product. In early childhood, success is not about making a perfect item. It's about asking questions, trying ideas, making mistakes, working with others, failing, success, this kind of cheer, clapping in the class, and so on. So when a child discovers if the tower keeps falling, maybe we need a wider base, something like that. That will be the beginning of a problem solving activity. Now, introducing project-based learning early helps children see challenges as opportunities to explore. By giving them simple real-life problems and guiding them to find their own solutions, we are not just teaching content, we are nurturing creators, thinkers, collaborators, and lifelong problem solvers. Thank you so much for this question.
Thank you very much for beautifully answering this question. Yes, you have highlighted the importance of introducing project-based learning right from early childhood. Your point underscores that when young children are exposed to hands-on exploration, guided inquiry, and problem-solving skill or task, they began or they begin to develop curiosity, confidence, and independence from that early age. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation, your answers. And I'm going to be welcoming our next panelist for today, Professor Shanu Banji. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Your question is, how can public-private partnerships support the scaling of project-based learning models in developing regions? The floor is yours, ma'am. You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. Please greetings to all present here. Please allow me to switch off my camera due to low internet connectivity. I'm Professor Cynthia Shenul Banji from Tanzania, East Africa. I am indeed grateful to AWTE Intellectual Exchange Platform's founder and host Dr. Gloria, to its co-host Dr. Rania, to all the moderators, and to all my fellow speakers. The topic provided to me is very interesting, which says, how can public-private partnership support the scaling of project-based learning (PBL) models in developing regions? Well, public-private partnership (PPP), which we normally call it, can support the scaling of project-based learning (PBL) models by providing essential resources, real-world relevance, technical expertise, and financial support. Now let's look at each one in more details. Resource provision and funding. PPPs can inject significant resources to schools that are cash-strapped. Public school systems often they lack financial support. They can also make financial investment. Private sector partners can provide direct funding for developing project-based learning, PBL curriculum, training teachers, and acquiring necessary technology and materials. They can provide physical resources. Companies can donate space for projects, specialized equipments like 3D printers or lab gear and other in-kind contributions that will be difficult for schools to purchase. They can also assist in enhancing curriculum, relevance, and design. Partnerships ensure that PBL projects are assigned with current industry demands and future workforce needs. They can provide real-world projects. Companies can propose and co-design authentic, complex problems for students to solve, moving beyond hypothetical scenarios. This makes learning more engaging and directly applicable to the workplace. This is very common in the telecom industry. They can provide industry expertise. Private sector professionals can serve as mentors, guest lecturers, and project advisors offering expert guidance and insights into industry standards and practices. It's very common in the banking industry. They can also offer workforce development by aligning projects with in demand skills such as critical thinking, collaboration, and specific technical competencies. PPPs, public private partnerships, help create a pipeline of job ready talent for the private sector. Moreover, scaling PBL requires robust implementation strategies, and PPPs can bolster professional development, program evaluation, advocacy, and awareness, building a sustainable ecosystem, shared responsibilities, and network effects. With my time almost up, I would like to end here. Thank you all for listening to me. God bless us all. Thank you, Dr. Gloria.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate your presentation. You have clearly shown how public-private partnership can play a transformative role in scaling project-based learning, especially in developing regions. By bringing together government support, private sector resources, and community commitments, PBL initiatives gain sustainability, access to materials, and broader impact. Thank you very much for that wonderful answers that you've just given to us. We appreciate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to be moving on to our next panelist for today, Dr. Arjun Qureshi. Dr. Arjun, are you there? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, your question is, how can teachers in resource-limited schools implement effective project-based learning without depending heavily on technology or funding? The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gloria. And greetings to everyone. In fact, this is a very interesting question, and especially for the people like us who are living in, smaller cities like us, or smaller towns. Sometimes the people think that if we want to implement project-based learning, means we'll be requiring a number of resources, a lot of resources, but this is actually not true. Whenever we want to have a project-based learning, and especially like you said, that when the resources are limited, so what the teachers can do is, yes, first list down the topics that are there in the curriculum. Then the next thing is try to list down the number of projects, the different combination of projects. Some of them you can think on your own, some you can take your inspiration from what others have implemented. The third thing is list down the resources that you have, and then try to map those projects with the resources that are available with you. So might be the list that you have made for the projects, some of them you may have to take it out, or some of them you can even, make some kind of changes into it. So, and for the resources, yes, of course, when the resources are limited, one thing that can be done is we can use the local and natural materials. For example, the students can be encouraged to create projects with natural materials such as leaves, some kind of seeds or stones or some kind of household waste, because we know nowadays the best out of waste, that was a great concept that going on. Next, we can use the community resources. For example, we can be partnering with the community members who have expertise. Like there are some local artists we have farmers and also elders, because they have a rich source of knowledge. And nowadays there is a gap which has been created between the elders and us, and the knowledge that they is not passed to us. Like at my home also, I see, like when my grandmother was there, home remedy tips, but that couldn't be passed to us. Those remedies just went away with her. Like my parents didn't get into it, and they didn't, really try to study like which tip home remedy tips for or works for which kind of problem. So that there is a knowledge gap that has been created. So in project-based learning also we can take help of the elders, and elders are the greatest source of knowledge for us. Even we need to understand them. Then the next is when we are framing the projects, there should be the project should be around a compelling question or a problem the students can address with the resources that they have. For example, if they want to design an app, so they should be designing an app referring to the local problem or the local issue that you are having, and where it can be solving a local problem. Of course, we need to prioritize essential skill instead of using expensive tools or focus in developing skills like critical thinking. Instead, we should be focusing on developing this kind of skills like critical thinking, creative thinking, design thinking, and all, instead of just having very expensive tools for that. And so the students can learn to map out a project. They can consider the necessary resources even if they don't have the actual materials to build. So I can say that yes, of course, we need to just assess and reflect on it. We need to develop a criteria for how the process should be going on, what should be the final project. And yes, assessment is very important, self-assessment, peer review, so that we can know how the students are implementing the project. So yes, I feel that limitation of resources is not at all an issue. It depends on the educators, how they take to it and how they make the students to work on it. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arjun, for that. Thank you for offering such a practical, encouraging viewpoint. Your insights on implementing project-based learning in resource-limited setting are especially important. You have highlighted that meaningful projects do not depend on advanced technology or large budget, but on creativity, locally available materials, and purposeful planning. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate your presentation and your answers. And I'm going to move on to our next panelist, Ambassador Shaheen Sultana Mohammed Sheikh. Are you ready, ma'am? Oh, okay. We lost it's not here anymore. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next panelist. Dr. Gloria Okwara. Dr. Gloria, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening to everyone.
Good evening and welcome to today's session. Your question is, how can educators use project-based learning to build emotional intelligence and teamwork among students beyond just academic achievement? The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for this question.
Hello,
The topic, some terms are common.
Hello.
Teamwork, every other thing, but emotional intelligence. That's the main thing I'm looking at here.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Gloria.
You have children you have gathered, so can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now.
Okay. Maybe, like I said, I'm still on the way. All right. So for emotional intelligence, it is what we all need as educators to let them know. For a team to achieve whatever goal or project they are embarking on, they must learn to accept each other's strengths and weakness. And the only thing that can help them achieve that is emotional intelligence. Someone may be vibrant, but on that day of project, the person is not that vibrant. Another team leader or learner in that team or group should be able to identify such a learner and ask, are you okay? As simple as it may sound, it will go a long way. So we have to build that emotional intelligence into the program. You set goals that must help them recognize empathy, meeting deadline. You may give them a project you know may not be achieved within 2 weeks, just for the aim of measuring that empathy they will have. Will they accommodate everyone in the group because they are trying to meet targets, or they will want to quarrel or have challenges with any other person in order to meet the deadline? We have to use assertive communication to resolve disagreements. Yes, one may be aggrieved, but how do you communicate? Time we are making present learner, because it is what we know that we can actually send. Or emotional intelligence matters a lot as content that we want to give others. We have to use team roles that develop self-awareness and responsibilities. There's a particular teacher in my school. For every time she's late to work, she has several reasons to justify her lateness to work. The other day, I just called and I told her plainly that she should go and read emotional intelligence and learn it. Now, it depends on the way you correct the term it bullying. And whenever bullying is being pronounced or promoted, we look at maybe an adult to a learner. We don't know that we can bully, adults can bully themselves. Let me put on, made us to know in one of our staff meetings that when you disobey any constitutional authority, you are bullying that person. I think it helped us to look inwards. So we should learn how to teach those children those things. Accepting responsibility is a skill that everyone should know. We should learn to assign roles that promote strength. If you have grouped 5 learners to be in a team, they should identify their strengths and bring out those strengths to form whatever project you have given them. On the weakness of one, and you send that person, you the one to do what is not the person's strength. What it will help us to promote self-discipline, organization, identify emotional well-being of everyone involved in it, set clarified goals. Clarity is very important. Tone control is very, very important in anything. We can't overplug the term called empathy. Let us learn that very, very well. So how to handle frustration is another thing we need to teach those learners, no matter the age. So we have to teach them conflict resolution. I have a learner that no matter how hot she is, as she's presenting it, you will never, even as she's talking to you, you will be angry and ready to go and react on her behalf. So because of time, please, let me just make this statement. I learned something today. Stop. What does it mean? Let's teach the learners to stop whatever is not required. Take a breath, observe, and proceed with whatever goal they have. Let's introduce restoring circles that will help them. Thank you. I don't like exceeding my time, but this topic is so vast. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gloria, for your insightful contribution. You have beautifully emphasized that project-based learning is not only about academic mastery, but also about cultivating emotional intelligence and teamwork. When students work together, sharing ideas, resolving conflicts, and supporting one another, they develop essential social-emotional skills that will serve them throughout their lifetime. Thank you very much for that answer. And I'm going to move over to our next speaker, our next panelist, Ambassador Shaheen Sultana Mohammed Sheikh. You're welcome. We've missed you. Your question is, how can educators link project-based learning to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to inspire real-world changes? The floor is yours.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Today, as we stand at the crossroad of cultures, identities, and rapidly changing global realities, one truth has never been more clear. Language is more than a tool of communication. It is vessel of identity, belonging, and dignity. Yet in many spaces, school, workplaces, and even social circles, our multilingual realities are treated as obstacles rather than opportunities. When we say one voice, many tongues, we are not asking everyone to sound the same. We are reminding ourselves that unity is not built by erasing differences, but by celebrating them. A single voice does not mean a single language. It means a shared commitment to understanding, respect, and inclusion, no matter what language we speak. In our multilingual world, inclusivity must go beyond translation. It must become a mindset. It means recognizing that the child who hesitates to speak because their accent betrays their home language deserves encouragement, not correction. It means acknowledging that the colleague who switches between languages is not confused. They are resourceful, navigating multiple words with fluency and grace. It means understanding that linguistic diversity is not a barrier to excellence. It is a catalyst for creativity, empathy, and collaboration. When we welcome many tongues, we open doors to stories we may never have heard. We make room for perspective that challenge our assumptions. We create spaces where people are not asked to choose between their identity and their participation. Redefining inclusivity means shifting from how do we make you fit, how to how do we make this space fit for all of us. This shift requires courage to question long-held norms, courage to redesign classrooms and workplaces, and courage to listen with intent even when the language is unfamiliar. But the reward is immeasurable. A multilingual world that embraces inclusivity becomes more innovative, more compassionate, and more just. It becomes a world where every person feels seen, heard, and valued, not despite their language, but through it. So let us commit to being that one voice, a collective voice that honors many tongues. Let us build environments where language differences become bridges, not barriers. Let us remind ourselves and each other that true inclusivity is not about sameness, but about belonging. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Shaheen Sultana. Your emphasis on connecting projects to the SDGs is inspiring. This approach not only makes learning meaningful, but also empowers students to become active global citizens addressing real-world challenges. Thank you very much for this amazing presentation. And as we conclude today's intellectual exchange, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to every panelist, contributor, and participant. Your insights have enriched our understanding of how project-based learning can empower students to think critically, collaborate meaningfully, and create solutions that address real-world challenges. This conversation reinforces what we believe at a walkthrough education, that education must not only inform the mind, but also equip learners to shape a better tomorrow. The strategies shared today are powerful reminders that every classroom can become a workshop of innovation when teachers are intentional. Thank you for your time, your passion, and your commitment to transformative education. Let us carry the lessons from today into our schools, communities, and global networks. Until we meet again at our next intellectual exchange, keep inspiring, keep innovating, and keep working with purpose through education. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
All right, so please, could you all turn on your cameras? Let's take our pictures quickly. Please turn on your cameras, turn on your cameras. Thank you everyone for today's session. I truly appreciate. Please turn on your cameras. Let's take our pictures. All right, so after the count of 5, we're going to, oh, I just saw one, someone just joined us now. Ambassador Bumi Anani. All right, let's take our pictures then. Bumi can just share her views. All right, so after the count of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you, Ambassador Padmani. Please just hold on. One person has something to present. Just one person. Just give her. Let's just give her like 2-3 minutes, please. So, Ambassador Bumi, please. The floor is yours. We don't want to miss your presentation.
Okay, thank you so very much, Hadia CEO. Thank you. Well, okay. Without further ado, just permit me to. Oh my God! Oh my God!
It's
Aha!
okay.
So sorry. So sorry. Okay. All right. Are we talking about? I'm just trying to get the topic again. Yeah, we're talking about what universities can do to integrate project-based learning in order to ensure that research translates into real-world innovation and community impact. Of course, I'm just going to go through my points very, very rapidly because I understand that a lot of people have been here for a very long time. I'm so sorry. First of all, universities should know their place. That they occupy a very vital place in the society. And so universities or higher institutions of learning should lead change by being innovative. Then, when we talk about project-based learning, how can they integrate? We cannot just jump into integrating. There is need for the foundation to be properly laid. And how? For them to revisit the essence of research and evaluate their past commitment to it. The bedrock of research in the society, the fulcrum, the base where research is expected, to be spearheaded, is in our universities. So PBL is about research. Project-based learning is about students making inquiry, asking questions and getting to the root of the issue towards solving a particular problem. So the universities need to go back. Are we actually, achieving the goal or the aim of research? Research is to provide solutions to problems. Otherwise, even when we want to integrate PBL, it will not be properly done. Then universities should reassess their role in the community. Their role in the community is to bridge theory and practice and provide working solutions for the community. Yes, marry the gown and town together, and they should know how have we succeeded in our existence for the past centuries, in order to see that yes, are we really fulfilling our mandate to our immediate community and the national community as a whole. By the time this reassessment stage is done, so the first stage is evaluation and assessment, for us to know how far we have come, how far we have gone, and how much we still need to do, so that the rationale for integrating PBL will be statistically and empirically established. Now is to integrate. What are we integrating? We are integrating technology. We are integrating interdisciplinary action. Yes, and then we are integrating what we call the 21st century skills. So how do we go about this integration? The university dons, they themselves, we said at the beginning that they should model the change, they should lead the change. Technology should be known by every student in the university, in the force of the university. It should, our libraries should become e-granaries. Our research base should be functional for every student. And then when we talk about interdisciplinary, no longer should it be just English language department, for example. Rather, it should be a fusion of English with every other discipline in such a way that it should be the study of English should be relevant to the real life purpose that the students will be facing. For instance, a learner of English should be able to apply the learning of English to the discipline of medicine, to the discipline of engineering. So a student does not necessarily have to study medicine to know how to use the language of medicine in real life. So in essence, we are just using English language as a discipline in Nigeria to be able to emphasize the need for English to be able to solve a real problem. How? By infusing interdisciplinary courses in their implementation. Then support and fund projects for field and developmental research. There are so many students out there who have who have ideas. Developmental research simply means that they go back to the basics, they go to the field. It's like primary research. It is not a secondary research. They have original ideas and they want to build upon their originality. And so this kind of field and developmental research require massive funding. Our lecturers, our university teachers ready to support their learners, especially in the third world, in the developing countries. Our lecturers and supervisors ready to give financial support to their learners, because when we talk about TET fund, yes, TET fund is one of the ways in which the university support, but it is only for or for those who have access to the university fund. Now, create learning environments that promote inquiry, curiosity, and originality, promotes design thinking, systems thinking, and strategic thinking in their course plans, adjust seating arrangements to reflect collaboration and a problem-solving posture, and finally, cultivate students' initiatives for the community, not just the university. Through this, the university can begin a well-intentioned process of integrating PBL into their courses within the four walls of the Ivory Tower. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Oluwabumi Anani. Thank you very much. And I would say that what I've picked from what you've just spoken about is they have to model the change and lead the change. Thank you very much for that. And I want to appreciate everyone that stayed back to listen to Ambassador Oluwabumi. I know you have waited for all the way from the beginning of the session till now. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much for joining us, and see you in our next session next week. Bye-bye. And we have our student session tomorrow, so feel free to join us by 6:30 p.m. IST with your students. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Subratri.
Subratri.
Shubhratri, ma'am.
Subratri. Bye.
Bye.